A snowstorm night in the Montana mountains. An SUV crashed through the barrier, slid off the road. Inside, Lucas Ward, 35 years old, HVAC repair technician, and Evelyn Carter, 29 years old, CEO of a tech corporation. They'd never met, only knew they were trapped in an abandoned mansion in the mountains. When the electrical system caught fire, the CEO shouted, "No one can fix this!" Lucas calmly set down his toolbox. "I fix things. Always have." 30 minutes later, the lights came on, and the only thing that changed was the way she looked at him. Lucas Ward, 35 years old, HVAC repair technician, widower, living with his 7-year-old daughter Emma. Evelyn Carter, 29 years old, CEO of Carter Innovations. Beautiful, cold, didn't believe in kindness. Setting, a remote mountain resort in Montana, where Evelyn's company held a private executive conference. Lucas was hired to fix the mansion's heating system, the exact day a blizzard hit. Evelyn came for a secret board meeting. When the storm started, everyone left by helicopter. Only she and Lucas were left behind. She was furious. "I pay money to avoid problems, not to be stuck with a handyman," he replied softly. "Problems are what I'm best at fixing." She glanced at him, saw his worn clothes, calloused hands, thought he was just a failure. Lucas had been fixing things his entire life. Started when he was 8. His father left. His mother worked 3 jobs. He learned to fix whatever broke, because there was no money to hire help. Refrigerators, heaters, plumbing, electrical systems. He learned from books, from YouTube videos, from trial and error, from necessity. When he turned 18, he enlisted in the Army, became a combat engineer, fixed vehicles, generators, communication equipment, anything that kept soldiers alive. He met Sarah there, an Army medic. They fell in love, got married, had Emma. Life was good, simple, happy. But Sarah died in a training accident when Emma was 3. Suddenly, Lucas was alone, a single father, with a daughter who needed him, who depended on him completely. He left the Army, started working civilian jobs, HVAC repair, handyman services, whatever paid the bills, whatever let him be home for Emma. People looked down on him, saw him as uneducated, working class, beneath notice. He didn't care. He had Emma, that was enough. But it wasn't easy. Single fatherhood never was. Wake at 5, make Emma breakfast, get her to school, work all day, pick her up, help with homework, make dinner. Bedtime routine. Collapse exhausted. Repeat. Every day, every week, every month. No breaks, no vacations, no time for himself. Just Emma, just survival, just making it through one more day. Other parents judged him. PTA meetings where mothers whispered, "Poor girl, no mother figure." He does his best, but it's not enough. She needs a woman's touch. He ignored them. Focused on Emma, on being present, on showing up, on being the parent she needed. Even when he was exhausted, even when he felt inadequate, even when he wanted to give up. Now trapped in this mansion with a CEO who clearly thought she was better than him, Lucas just focused on survival. When the power system collapsed, Evelyn panicked. "We'll die here!" Lucas opened the electrical panel, flashlight reflecting his calm face. "No, you'll be warm in 10 minutes. He assessed the damage quickly. Circuit breaker had overloaded. Simple fix if you knew what you were doing. He did. He pulled tools from his bag, always carried them, always prepared, because you never knew when something would break, and things always broke. 10 minutes later, exactly as promised, the lights turned on. Heat started flowing. The mansion came back to life. Evelyn stood stunned. "You actually fixed it? Told you I would. Where did you learn that?" "School of life, free tuition, high cost." That evening, they sat by the fireplace, the only warm place in the mansion. Evelyn asked, "Aren't you afraid of dying?" Lucas looked into the fire. "I already lost the person I love most. After that, fear doesn't mean much." She went quiet, eyes softening, seeing him differently now. Not just a handyman, but a person, with history, with pain, with depth. How did she die? Training accident, helicopter crash. She was a medic, always helping people. That's what killed her, being in the wrong place at the wrong time. I'm sorry. Me too. But Emma needs me. So I keep going, keep fixing things, keep being there. Evelyn studied him. This man who'd lost everything but kept functioning, who stayed calm when she panicked, who fixed things while she complained. She'd built an empire, millions of dollars, hundreds of employees, global reach. But she couldn't do what he just did, couldn't fix a simple electrical system, couldn't stay calm in crisis, couldn't survive without help. Your daughter, what's she like? Lucas smiled. First real smile since they'd been trapped. She's everything. Smart, funny, thinks I can fix the whole world. Can you? I try, one problem at a time. They talk late into the night. About Emma, about Sarah, about loss, about survival, about what matters when everything else falls away. Evelyn found herself opening up, telling him things she'd never told anyone, about loneliness, about sacrificing everything for success, about wondering if it was worth it. Lucas listened, didn't judge, didn't give advice, just listened, like he actually cared. Like her feelings mattered. It was strange, confusing, unexpected. She'd come here for a business meeting, found herself trapped with a stranger, and somehow she felt safer than she had in years. A resort staff member later recalled, Miss Carter never talked personally with anyone. That night was the first time I saw her smile. Day 2, the storm intensified, windows blocked by snow, phone signal gone. They were completely isolated. Evelyn panicked. Lucas stayed calm, prepared candles, blankets, food, organized everything methodically. Are you always this prepared? When you have a young daughter, you learn to be ready for anything. He told her more about Emma, the 7-year-old who believed her father could fix the entire world, who drew pictures of him as a superhero, who never doubted him. Evelyn went silent. She'd never had family, just stock portfolios and deadlines. Success measured in numbers, never in love. Do you ever regret it? Lucas asked. Choosing career over everything else? Every day, but I'm too far in to turn back now. That's not true. It's never too late to fix something broken. That evening, she told him her story. I was in love once. He left when I chose my career over him. I chose money, lost everything that mattered. Lucas spoke softly. Maybe you didn't lose it. Maybe you just haven't learned how to fix it yet. She looked at him, this simple man with calloused hands and worn clothes, who somehow understood things her MBA couldn't teach. Around midnight, disaster struck. A gas line burst, fire ignited in the ceiling, flames spreading fast, smoke filling the room. The sound was deafening, metal groaning, wood cracking, glass shattering, everything happening at once. Chaos, terror, death approaching fast. Evelyn screamed, frozen in place. CEO training hadn't prepared her for this. Business school didn't teach survival. Boardroom battles didn't prepare you for actual battles. Lucas moved immediately, no hesitation, no thought, just action. Years of military training activating, muscle memory taking over. Do what needs doing, save who needs saving, grab the fire extinguisher, fought the flames, shielded her from falling debris. The fire was hot, intense, overwhelming, smoke choking, vision obscured. But Lucas kept fighting, kept moving, kept protecting, because that's what you did. When someone needed help, you helped, no matter the cost. A burning beam fell. Lucas saw it, calculated trajectory, realized it would hit Evelyn, made split-second decision, pushed her out of the way, took the impact on his shoulder, cried out in pain, but kept fighting the fire. The beam was heavy, burning, crushing. Pain exploded through his shoulder, but he couldn't stop, couldn't give up, had to extinguish the fire, had to keep Evelyn safe, had to survive. For Emma, for the daughter waiting at home, who needed him. He extinguished it, secured the gas line, made the area safe, then collapsed, shoulder bleeding, face pale from shock and pain. Evelyn rushed to him, panic replacing her usual composure. "Oh my God, you're hurt. What do I do?" "First aid kit. In my bag, blue compartment." She found it, hands shaking, pulled out supplies, tried to remember anything useful, failed completely. "Talk me through it," she begged. He did, step by step, voice steady despite the pain, teaching her how to clean the wound, apply pressure, bandage properly, making it simple enough that she couldn't mess it up. When she finished, she was crying. "You could have died. Why did you push me?" Habit. Always protect people who can't protect themselves. "I'm a CEO. I can protect myself." He smiled weakly. "From corporate rivals, maybe, not from burning buildings." She took off her expensive jacket, covered his shoulders with it, stayed close, keeping him warm, making sure he stayed conscious. "You always this calm?" she asked. "If I panic, Emma has no one to rely on. So I stay calm. Always." She looked into his eyes, saw not coldness or calculation, but pain that had learned to become gentleness, strength that came from survival, courage born from necessity. "You know what?" he said quietly. "You don't need someone to save you. You just need someone who'll stay." The words hit her, hard, unexpected, true. Her whole life, people left. Partners, friends, family. Everyone eventually left when she got too demanding, too focused, too successful. But Lucas wasn't leaving, couldn't leave. They were trapped, but he wasn't trying to. He was just staying, being present, helping without expecting anything back. Morning came. The storm hadn't stopped, but the worst seemed over. They'd survived the night, together. Lucas's shoulder was better, still painful but manageable. He made coffee, found food, made breakfast like nothing had happened. "How are you so normal after almost dying?" Evelyn asked. "I've almost died before. Iraq, combat engineering. You learn to keep moving, because stopping means giving up." "You were in the army?" 8 years, met my wife there. Best and worst time of my life." They spent the day talking, really talking, not small talk, deep conversation about life, death, purpose, meaning, things that mattered. Evelyn realized something. This man knew more about living than anyone she'd met, despite having less money, less education, less status. He understood what mattered, what lasted, what was real. By evening, rescue teams reached them. The storm was clearing. They could leave, go back to normal life. But nothing felt normal anymore. Everything had changed. They'd changed. At least Evelyn had. She wasn't sure about Lucas. He remained steady, constant, unchangeable. As they prepared to leave, Lucas said, "You know, you're stronger than you think. You just need to believe it." "How do you know?" "Because you survived with me, and you didn't complain once after the fire. That's strength." A rescue worker recalled, "When we arrived, they sat close by the fireplace, his arm around her shoulders. She was smiling, a real smile. Not the CEO smile, a human smile." Days later, they were rescued, back to civilization, back to their separate lives. But Evelyn couldn't stop thinking about Lucas, about how he'd saved her, protected her, taught her. She invited him to her office, to thank him properly, professional gratitude, nothing more. That's what she told herself. Lucas came, wearing a clean button-down shirt, carrying his old toolbox, looking out of place in the glass and steel corporate tower. But when he arrived, Evelyn was in a meeting, board members present, executives watching, her public persona fully activated. Someone asked about the Montana incident. She replied coldly, "He's just a mechanic, not relevant to company business." Lucas heard from the hallway, through the open door, her words, her tone, her dismissal. He just smiled sadly, left quietly, no drama, no anger, just acceptance. He'd expected this. People like her didn't associate with people like him, not in the real world. That evening, disaster struck Carter Innovations. Critical system failure. Cyber attack had penetrated their servers. All projects paralyzed, millions of dollars at risk, potential bankruptcy looming. The attack was sophisticated, professional, targeted. Someone knew exactly what they were doing, exactly where to strike, exactly how to cause maximum damage. Engineers worked frantically, trying everything. Nothing worked. The problem was too deep, too complex, systems too compromised, layers of encryption, malware everywhere, data corrupted, backups infected, everything failing simultaneously. Senior engineers called in experts, consultants, security specialists. Nobody could fix it. The damage was catastrophic, unprecedented, possibly unfixable. The company might be lost. Everything Evelyn had built, everything she'd sacrificed for, gone. Because of one attack, one vulnerability, one mistake. Nobody could fix it. The problem was too complex, too deep, too catastrophic. Evelyn sat in her office, head in hands, everything she'd built crumbling, all because of one security breach, one mistake, one failure. Her phone rang. Lucas's voice. "You still have the backup server in the basement, right? Check the compression system. I serviced it last year." She was stunned. "You worked for Carter Innovations?" "No, I fixed your air conditioning. But when I saw the system was wrong, I fixed that too. Didn't charge extra, just seemed right." He'd been in her building before. Months ago, routine HVAC maintenance. While working, he'd noticed the server system, saw vulnerabilities, fixed them, didn't tell anyone, didn't ask for recognition, just did what needed doing. Now he was on the phone, walking her through the recovery process, step by step, patient, clear, like he'd done with her wound, teaching her how to save her own company. 20 minutes later, the entire system restored, data recovered, crisis averted, company saved, all because a mechanic had fixed something nobody asked him to fix. Nobody knew was broken. Nobody thought to check. Evelyn cried, relief, gratitude, shame. "You saved my company. I told you, I fixed things." She drove to his house that night. Small place, working class neighborhood, but clean, well-maintained, loved. Emma was there, drawing at the kitchen table. "You're the lady from the picture," Emma squealed. Evelyn looked. A child's drawing, a woman smiling, by a fireplace, with a man and a little girl. Family. "Emma drew you the day after I came home," Lucas explained. "She said you made me happy. Kids notice things adults miss." Evelyn couldn't speak, choked up. This little girl had drawn her as family, as belonging, as wanted. No one had ever done that before. The next morning, Evelyn made an announcement. Lucas Ward appointed as Director of Crisis Management. New division. Fixed division. Solving problems others couldn't. Helping people others forgot. Board members objected. "He has no degree, no credentials, no experience." "He has something better," Evelyn replied. "He knows how to fix what's broken, including this company's soul." At the press conference, she addressed media, employees, stakeholders. Sometimes the best people aren't those with MBA degrees. They're those who dare to fix things when no one believes they can. The room erupted in applause, standing ovation. Lucas stood there, uncomfortable with attention, but proud of what he represented. Proof that worth isn't measured by degrees or status, but by what you do, how you help, who you become. Later, a reporter asked, "Mr. Ward, how does it feel to go from mechanic to executive?" "I'm still a mechanic, just fixing different things now. Bigger problems, same skills. Stay calm, assess the situation, find the solution, execute. That works everywhere." Another journalist pressed, "Do you resent Ms. Carter for initially dismissing you?" "No, she was scared. People say things when they're scared. What matters is what they do after. She changed. That takes courage." Evelyn watched him, this man who'd forgiven her dismissal, who understood her fear, who didn't hold grudges, who just kept being better than most people knew how to be. That evening, they walked through the parking garage, away from cameras, away from expectations. Just two people who'd survived a storm together. "Thank you," she said, "for everything, for saving me, for forgiving me, for staying." "You saved yourself," he replied. "I just gave you tools. You did the work." "I don't know how to do this. Whatever this is, I've never been good at relationships." "Neither have I. Sarah was the only one I ever got right, and she's gone. But maybe we figure it out together, one day at a time, like fixing anything else." She took his hand. "I'd like that." Emma appeared, running from Lucas's car. "Daddy, Miss Evelyn, can we get ice cream?" They both laughed, the tension breaking, the moment becoming simple, real, human. "Yes," Evelyn said. "Let's get ice cream." Real person marker. An employee testified, "When Lucas walked to the podium, the CEO bowed her head to him. Not for status, for gratitude. If you believe the simplest people sometimes hold the world together, comment, 'I will live with kindness.'" Under Lucas's leadership, Fixed Division thrived, specialized in repairing homes for low-income families, funded by Carter Innovations, making real difference in people's lives. Emma often joined, called Evelyn Miss Evelyn. The three of them became a team, a family, in everything but name. At a community center opening, a reporter asked, "Mr. Ward, isn't it strange, going from mechanic to leading million-dollar projects?" "I just do what I'm good at, fixing things others ignore," Evelyn added. "He taught us something crucial. Success isn't measured by profit, but by lives improved, problems solved, people helped." Fixed Division expanded. Other companies copied the model, helping communities, building homes, training workers, creating opportunity, all inspired by one mechanic who refused to accept that some things couldn't be fixed. Lucas trained others, taught them not just technical skills, but philosophy, approach, mindset. When something's broken, don't walk away. Don't call it impossible. Find a way. There's always a way. He held workshops, free classes, open to anyone, teaching basic repairs, electrical work, plumbing, HVAC, skills that saved money, created independence, built confidence. "You don't need to hire someone for everything," he'd say. "Learn the basics, fix what you can, ask for help when you need it, but always try first." His students ranged from teenagers to retirees, single mothers, veterans, immigrants, anyone who wanted to learn. He turned no one away, charged nothing, just shared knowledge. Because knowledge was meant to be shared. Young people joined, inspired by his example, his humility, his dedication. He wasn't famous, wasn't rich, but he was changing lives. That mattered more. One teenager asked, "How do you stay motivated when everything seems broken?" "I think about Emma, about Sarah, about everyone counting on me. And I remember giving up means they lose. I can't let that happen." The program grew. National recognition, Presidential Award for Community Service. But Lucas deflected credit. "This isn't about me. It's about all of us, choosing to help instead of ignore." Evelyn changed too. Her company became known not just for innovation, but for humanity, for caring, for remembering that business serves people, not the other way around. She spoke at conferences. "I used to think leadership meant being the smartest person in the room. Now I know it means being the most willing to listen, to learn, to change." Board members who doubted Lucas now praised him. Employees who'd questioned his qualifications now respected his results. Success spoke louder than credentials ever could. One evening, after a long day, Evelyn found Lucas in his workshop. Tools spread out, working on something, always working. "What are you fixing now?" she asked. "Old heater for a veteran. Can't afford new. Just needs care." She watched him work, patient, methodical, finding problems, solving them, making things whole again. It was beautiful. The dedication, the skill, the purpose. "I love watching you work," she admitted. He looked up, smiled. "I love having you watch." Emma burst in. "Daddy, Miss Evelyn, look!" She held a drawing, the three of them, together, happy, family. Can we be like this forever? Emma asked innocently. Lucas and Evelyn looked at each other, both thinking the same thing, hoping for the same future, scared to say it out loud. Yes, Evelyn said finally. We can. If you respect those who fix things without seeking spotlight. Comment, respect. 2 years later, Lucas and Evelyn launched Fix Foundation, supporting single-parent families, providing resources, building community, making real change. The foundation offered more than money. It offered hope, training, mentorship, connection. Everything Lucas had needed when Sarah died. Everything single parents desperately needed but rarely received. They provided childcare assistance, job training, home repairs, educational support, mental health resources, a comprehensive safety net. Because single parenting wasn't one problem, it was many, and solving it required addressing all of them. Evelyn used her business skills, fundraising, organization, efficiency. Lucas used his practical knowledge, understanding needs, connecting with people, building trust. Together they were unstoppable, complementary, complete. At the opening ceremony, Emma ran to Evelyn, hugged her tight. Daddy says you fix everything, even his heart. Evelyn laughed through tears. He taught me how. Lucas watched them, his two favorite people, connected, happy, safe. Everything he'd fought for, everything he'd worked to protect. The ceremony was beautiful. Families gathered, children playing, parents connecting, community forming. Exactly what they'd envisioned. Exactly what was needed. Actually, he said quietly, you taught yourself. I just showed you where to look. The foundation grew. Other cities adopted the model. Thousands of families helped. Lives changed. Hope restored. All because two people met in a snowstorm and learned to fix what was broken. Evelyn never forgot that night in Montana, when she'd been stuck with a mere mechanic, who turned out to be the most extraordinary person she'd ever met. She'd learned that worth isn't measured by status, by wealth, by titles, but by character, by actions, by willingness to help when no one's watching. Lucas never sought recognition, never wanted fame, just wanted to help, fix things, make life better for people who needed it. That was enough, more than enough. That was everything. One evening, they walked through the workshop together, sunset streaming through windows, tools gleaming, everything in its place. The workshop had become sacred space, where Lucas created, fixed, thought, where problems became solutions, where broken things became whole, where he felt most himself, most capable, most at peace. Evelyn loved this space, loved watching him work, loved the concentration on his face, the careful movements, the satisfaction when something clicked, when repair was complete, when function was restored. You still fixing things? Evelyn asked playfully. Always, but not just machines anymore. People too. People who thought they were broken. She took his hand, squeezed gently. I was broken. You helped me see I could be fixed. We fixed each other, he corrected. That's how it works. Nobody does it alone. We all need help sometimes. That's not weakness. That's humanity. Emma joined them, carrying 3 ice cream cones. Family tradition, she announced. They sat together, eating ice cream, watching sunset, being family, not because of blood, but because of choice. Choice to stay, to help, to fix what was broken, to build something new. On the workbench, a single screw reflected sunlight, small, simple, essential, holding everything together, like Lucas, like love, like family, not dramatic, not flashy, just steady, reliable, always there when needed. Evelyn looked at Lucas. This man who'd saved her company, changed her life, taught her what mattered. Thank you for everything, for staying. Thank you for letting me, he replied, for being worth staying for. Emma interrupted. Can we do this forever? Be family forever? They both answered, together, synchronized, certain. Yes, forever. And they meant it. Not because life was perfect, not because everything was fixed, but because they'd learned the most important lesson. Some things stay broken unless you choose to fix them. Some people stay lost unless you choose to find them. Some families never form unless you choose to build them. They chose, every day, to stay, to help, to fix, to love. And that choice made all the difference. If you believe in stories that touch the heart like this one, leave a comment and subscribe to Chip Healing Stories. We tell the stories that shouldn't be forgotten.